right, welcome to another episode of the Bulldog Bark. I'm yours truly, the Guru. With me, as always, got my partner in crime, BFC, Butler's Fighting Crew. And with us today, we got another very special guest in the building. Some of you know him as Diesel, but his real name is Drayton Jones. Drayton, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Hey, appreciate you hopping on here. Obviously, Butler Nation, super excited to have you. We finally got our center. We're super excited about that. So, I have to ask right off the bat because I know this was like the number one question that every single Butler fan out there wants to know. Talk to us about the name Diesel. I'm sure you saw all the memes and everything out there that was being posted weeks up to your announcement. But how did that nickname come to be? And then also, did you see all of the social media posts that were happening about it?
Yeah, well, as far as the nickname Diesel goes, it was my freshman year at a Christmas sweater party. And as far as that, the origins of my nickname go all over the place. My mom says one thing, my teammates say another. I have a different account. I just know after the Christmas party, there was a whole lot of posters at our games that said Diesel, and I guess it just stuck. So I remember I got it that day at the Christmas party. And then as far as the social media, I remember I hadn't told anyone I was, going to Butler or committed to Butler. So when I saw all these memes, at first I was super freaked out. But eventually, once I saw these memes, me, my mom, my dad, we all found it kind of funny. So now there's like a group chat dedicated just to Butler memes. And there's at least 30 to 40, 50 of them just scrolling and scrolling.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough in today's, social media climate because, information's always getting leaked somewhere or whatnot. So obviously we heard that you were a target. And so we have a group Butler chat. The minute we heard your name was Diesel, we just ran with it. We're like, absolutely, we gotta market this right now. But no, that's awesome, man. So talk to us a little bit about kind of the transfer portal process for you and what kind of made you, one, say, okay, I'm ready to make the step up to a power conference, and then two, what ultimately made you decide to come be a Butler Bulldog?
Yeah, so first, I'm going to be transparent. When I came to South Carolina State, I was coming out of Oak Hill, very under recruited. And with Coach Martin, he has Power Five pedigree being with West Virginia. And he just came to me and say, "Hey, Drayton, I know you're under recruited. I know you have some talent. And I'm going to try and develop you as much as I can within these 2 years, because after 2 years, I don't want you here anymore. You feel me? I want you to go somewhere to excel and to be better. And so pretty much after this year, we had our most successful season in like 20 years. And between coaches after games contacting my parents of who we just had beat or lost to, and then just, the jump I made from my freshman year to this past year, I just knew it was in the cards for me. I pretty much knew it was in the cards after my first or second practice in the summer last year. And, as far as the portal process goes, like the first couple of days, it was very overwhelming. I had never been on the phone that much in my life. I had been on the phone probably 20 hours within 24 to 25 hours, like within a 30-hour time span, which was very stressful at first. But, as the process kept going, it kind of eased out because the people who knew I wasn't going to go, I still have relationships with them, but they pretty much weren't as heavy. But meanwhile, people like Butler, they were, constantly calling me every day, constantly, giving me advice, just wanted to build a relationship outside of basketball. And then as far as, coming to Butler, it was just one day, Coach McCaffrey, he called me, and it was just, ever since then, it was just instant synergy, talking every day, texting every day, looking at the program. There's, with all the schools that had been talking to me, I had looked at, some games, and Butler was the team I watched the most games of. And it was a style of offense that I really liked, entering into the big at the top of the key to pretty much where it's like at our school, we call it weave action. But, with Butler, it's just, you have to be a facilitator. You have to go into pin downs, you got to go zooms, DHOs, pistols. Pretty much got to be a facilitator with the ball and be able to make quick reasoned decisions. And I know I did a little bit of that here at State. And I'm definitely going to go into the summer trying to develop that and become the best I can be. So, Butler can help, win some games, the conference, and, make some noise.
Man, I love that. And at BFC, I feel like I almost want to pass over to you for a second because you always love talking about the scheme and how it fits a player. You got any question on that?
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's kind of a big thing when we were going kind of into the off season. Obviously, center and point guard were kind of the two spots that we were looking at, and obviously having Jalen on, he had kind of a similar story to you, kind of under recruited out of high school, proved it, and then is now kind of getting the shot at the Power Five level. But yeah, kind of looking at the scheme, I know, obviously can shoot it, can facilitate. What are you kind of looking forward to in Thad's scheme where he gives players a lot of freedom?
I'm just looking forward. I'm looking forward to growing because when I went on my visit, I was pretty much honest with all the coaches what they wanted me to improve on. Some coaches said they want to be more ball friendly as far as being able to handle the rock within the half court. Some coaches wanted me to work on my touch more. So more so within that system, I'm just more looking forward to improving so I can help the system as greatly as possible. So whatever they need me to do, whether that's, screening and rolling, creating off the dribble, creating the post, I'm just looking forward to improving as much this offseason so I could help the team. So if that answered your question,
Yeah,
that's it.
definitely. And then kind of coming into the Big East, obviously the Big East is known, you know, throughout history for having just kind of dominant big men. It's been a big man conference. Um, how excited are you to kind of get into that and just have kind of a national stage to prove it?
I mean, kind of going in with my high school, I mean, I've been under recruited my whole life. And so pretty much since I've been under recruited and the underdog story, anytime I go up against like big people or great people, it's kind of more so of like a fun thing for me because I got no pressure on my shoulders. All these people got pressure. And to be frank, like being in the MEAC was so great for me because I had to learn how to play through no calls, how to play through hostile environments. But to be truthful, being here it just didn't really phase me anymore as far as the competition level. Not to say that MEAC is a bad conference. I just didn't want to be here anymore. Like I didn't want to go somewhere where I felt like I was going to have 15 or 20 and 15 anymore. That didn't intrigue me. So I wanted to go to the Big East where I know I had to be playing against pros every day in practice and pros every game. Um, and especially since I have Big East experience playing against Xavier, it was just an atmosphere that's unmatched. I played in SEC games, ACC games, American games, Big Ten games, and the Big East. It was just different because it's all about basketball.
Yep.
It's not about any other sport. Basketball is the main focus, and that's something that's addicting. That's something that you want to be around, and that's pretty much what brought me to want to be in the Big East. Not only the fact that I had to go up against great competition and bring my A game, but that environment is so welcoming, and it's a fiery environment that anyone would want to be in.
Oh yeah, and I got to tell you, your first big block or big dunk in Hinkle, that place is going to explode, and it's just a different environment. But kind of then shift into the defensive end, which is obviously a place you really have shined. Obviously throughout your time in college so far. In obviously Thad's kind of defensive system has always been relying on big shot blockers, a big guy inside, kind of a dominant force. Was that intriguing? Kind of going to a school where obviously we didn't have a center on the roster when you committed, and just kind of knowing that you had a chance to be that anchor.
Um, yeah, coming into it, I was it was very intriguing because Thad he's had good bigs like throughout his career, especially since the fact that he had Greg Oden. Um, it just always intrigued me because I wanted to be a part of that list, and I know here I was able to be a good defensive anchor, be somewhat versatile on switches and protecting the rim. But yeah, now that I'm here at Butler, I just want to do as best as I can with, like you said, being an anchor, uh, working on my timing because I know this past season I had some foul trouble issues. I picked it up over the second half, but just being as vertical as possible and fitting the scheme, whether that means we're in a drop, we're in a hedge, we're in the ice, we're in a trap. Just being as dominant and being as effective as possible with protecting the rim and defending the ball.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And speaking of a couple, going back a couple things. So you said something about the Xavier environment. Just again, let's not bring that up ever again. All right. I mean, that's it's Cintas is all right, but it's nothing like Hinkle. All right. We got to
Yeah.
make sure we clarify there. It's great. Big East always has great environments, but there's nothing quite like Hinkle because
Yeah.
But speaking of that game, block or foul against on Fremantle.
Man,
I have that.
okay. I have a story to tell.
Yes,
Because,
tell,
man,
tell.
no, I got a story to tell. So, mind you, man, we South Carolina State, we coming into this big arena with like 20,000, 30,000 people. And all respect to Fremantle, he's a really good player, but like he's a fifth, sixth year. So with me, I'm thinking, okay, he got on the fast break. We just turned the ball over. He's going to try and dunk on me. So I load up. I try and meet him at the rim. Next thing you know, he's putting his back to the basket and throws it up. And like I tap his wrist, but it's not like no flagrant. Realistically, we're all thinking, okay, I may get a flagrant one, or I may just get a hard foul call. We come into the bench and we see Sean Miller take calling the huddles like calling the ref like it's like a pregame huddle. And so, bro, by the time we in the huddle and they say flagrant 2, we all know it's some BS. Everybody who called me, I have some friends at TCU who had to play Xavier the next game. They're like, dog, that was not no flagrant.
Yeah.
Even the ushers and even the ushers in the building was like, no, that wasn't a flagrant, dog. They had it out to get me.
Yeah, no. I was watching that game, and man, the minute that happened, and obviously deep down, it's always tough in the non-conference. You want your conference to do well because it's good for positioning and everything like that. But like low key, I was definitely cheering for you boys because it's Xavier. I can't cheer for Xavier. It's good, but no. So couple more real quick questions about kind of what you're bringing to Butler, and then we'll dive into just some fun questions. But what would you say is maybe like your biggest asset? Like, what if you could say, here's the one big thing that I'm bringing to Butler? Like, one or two things. Here it is.
Yeah, I'm just one or two things. My effort.
Yeah.
At least when here I was at state, my coaches kind of called me stubborn with how hard I'd work, at least in practice. Whether that's me diving over all the loose balls, taking hella charges, trying to block as many shots as possible, talking, passing. I would just say my effort. I'm willing to do anything to win. So since I'm willing to do anything to win, if that whatever role I got to be, whatever thing I got to do, and whatever box I got to check, I just know my effort's going to be there and my motor. I'm willing to play as hard as I can for 2, 3, 4 minutes or however long it takes until I fall out. So, especially now that I'm coming to this big stage with the Big East and Butler, I just know there's a lot expected of me, and to whom much is given, much is required. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make sure not only, the team loves me, but the fans love me and we can have a really good season. So I think that's what I bring most to the team.
I don't know if I speak on behalf of like BFC or rest of Butler Nation, but I definitely thought Diesel came from, because like watching tape on you, I thought it came from your effort. Like you go like 100 miles per hour all the time. I love it. That's where I figured Diesel came from. But I'm gonna stick with that story because you already told me there's like multiple stories, so I'm gonna say that's the Diesel right there. I'm telling you that if they get another big, it needs to be fuel, and you need to be diesel fuel, which would be the coolest combo of all time. But then I guess the kind of two more things, then we're going to go into rapid fire. Obviously, you're bringing a lot of great things. What's like maybe the one, I know you already spoke on some of them, but what's like the one maybe thing that you think you need to improve upon as you make the jump?
I would probably just say, like my coaches said, being able to be ball friendly. And what that just means is just being able to handle the ball, at least within the half court. Because I know when we get into pick and roll situations and we're in the short roll, I'm going to have to be a decision maker. I'm going to have to, make decisions on the fly at quick time. And, the more I work on that, whether it be with passing, ball handling, or simply just being patient with the rock and seeing how, the defense unfolds and how the offense opens up, I would say that's one thing I need to work on most, just being able to facilitate and being able to be a better decision maker within the half court with my passing.
Awesome, man. And then one more before we do the rapid fire. Who's maybe on and off the court? Who are some role models that have kind of helped you get to where you are today?
On and off the court, I would say first God. I know that may be like a cliche answer, but God is my role model off the court. And on the court, I just try and live through him and do everything through his word every single day to glorify him. And as far as, on the court, probably Coach Martin. A few coaches, like there's a Coach John Lucas, Coach DJ, coaches back in Houston. Pretty much my coaching staff here and off the court. My biggest role model is definitely my mom. She taught me how to do everything. She taught me how to treat people with respect. Treat people the way you want to be treated, and just try and be as good of a person as possible. Because it doesn't take much to be nice. It doesn't take much to be kind. So that's one thing that my mom always taught me, and so I'd say that's my biggest role model.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah. So just a couple kind of get to know you things. Enough about the basketball stuff, but all right. So maybe obviously we know you play basketball. What's maybe like one of your biggest hobbies or things you like to do off the court?
I would say I'm a big movie watcher, a big music listener, and I like to walk. I like to walk a lot, just to clear the mind. Late nights after a workout or after watching a game, if it's too loud in my room or if I'm too scatterbrained, I just like to walk around or drive around. Just pretty much anything I can do to just keep myself in movement and just keep my brain as spaced out and as foggy as possible, just to not think about it much. That's really it.
Well, so you said a big movie watcher. You got a favorite?
Scarface.
There you go. I like it. Yes. What about music? You said music too. What's your favorite artist these days?
Well, my favorite rapper is J. Cole. My favorite artist is Michael Jackson. But I just love all music. I love Luke Combs and Morgan Wallen. I love New Edition. I love Drake. I love Kendrick. I love Erykah Badu. Pretty much, I love every single thing. Like I love every genre outside of EDM. EDM is just terrible. I don't understand how people like it, but I love everything other than EDM.
I love that answer. And then what about like favorite type of food? Because we can give you some recommendations in Indy.
My favorite, well, Mexican. I love Tex-Mex, but Mexican. Creole. My family roots are in New Orleans, so I like Creole food. And then pretty much just like the basic American stuff, like burgers, chicken. I'm a big Chick-fil-A guy. I love Chick-fil-A. If I had to eat something every single day, it would definitely be Chick-fil-A. It's too versatile for me. I love everything from top to bottom. So Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, you'll have to hit up Jalen Jackson because he said his favorite was Mexican food. I think he said it was Chipotle. It's Chipotle, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah. He said he gets a Chipotle about every meal. So we got a Chick-fil-A right off Broad Ripple, and then we got Broad Ripple's like right off campus. And then I don't know if do you guys go into Broad Ripple at all?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So and then we also got a nice Chipotle there too, but a lot of good Mexican spots. Yeah, you'll find some. There's some good spots. I always say, and I'm sure BFC will agree, Indy's one of the more underrated food scenes. I swear, there's a lot of good spots here, like local spots that you'll find. So yeah, you'll definitely have a good time here. BFC, I know you want to ask your favorite question.
Yeah. Right now, favorite pair of hoop shoes.
Oh man. Probably PG1s. That's my favorite pair of hoop shoes ever.
Yeah, that's a good call. Was SC State a Nike school?
Yeah, we are a Nike school.
Nice. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's been a big thing with people obviously in different AAU circuits and everything talking about just like the different brands. I know Under Armour caught some slack from a couple guys we interviewed, so glad we can have that. And then obviously, Butler's got a couple different uniforms now. Which one was your favorite? Kind of looking at on the visit.
Shoot. Well, I know watching film, there was a few, but my favorite that I've seen is black. Like, yeah. I don't think you understand how crazy it is to have a black jersey. I have had a black jersey I had a black jersey last year, but that got canceled. So now that I'm going to have a black jersey within the rotation, there's just so much stuff I could do now. It's just
yeah, they brought that back. That was like a big thing.
Yeah,
obviously, school and we were in school, and then they switched to the navy, but then they brought it back and everyone was fired up because that one just looks awesome.
Yeah, yeah, between the black one and then I don't know if you got to see because obviously the Indy 500 is here in Indy, so we had those new racetrack ones too, which are pretty fire. I mean that because it says dogs on the front. I'm like, man, we added a couple new rotation pieces last year. The black jerseys came out when they went to the Arizona tip off, and I was there for that, and that was fire. I was like, damn, they're whipping these out. And then the racetrack ones they brought those out for. We always do like an Indy 500 collab, and so which is always a fun one. But then I think they brought it back for the crown. Yeah, that was right, the crown. Did they bring it back for another one, BSC?
Yeah, I think they wore them like Creighton, something,
Oh no, it was Georgetown. I think it was it Georgetown?
something like that.
Well, they beat somebody. Yeah, they beat somebody. I
And,
remember they beat them with them on because I
yeah.
was excited. But what about who's your favorite? Who's your favorite basketball player, or maybe someone? Cut me. Yeah, no, I mean so you and oh no, Jalen Jackson said he said Kevin Durant, but wait no, he said it wasn't the GOAT, but he said he has his favorite player.
He's the most unguardable player.
Unguardable player, that's right. Yeah, yeah. What about anyone that you model your game after?
I know that there's some I like. I don't know if I model my game after them, but some people's games that I like a lot are Robert Williams, Isaiah Hartenstein. I like who doesn't like Jokic? I like Embiid. And then I like Evan Mobley. I like Miles Turner. I like a lot of like bigs who can defend, defend the rim and shoot. So that's some people I'm gonna want to model my game after, especially in the summer, just so I can be more versatile. But yeah,
absolutely, man.
Yeah,
BSC,
Miles Turner a couple games last year with Tyrese. Oh yeah, that's solid. What kind of going to Oak Hill? Who's your Oak Hill goat?
oh man, that's tough. I just have to say Melo because I have to say Melo because he won national championships. He beat LeBron. Not a lot of Oak Hill people can say that, but he beat LeBron, and it's the best high school ever, so it helps. I have to say Carmelo.
Mine's
Actually,
Tyler personally.
yeah, Tyler Lewis. Tyler Lewis played at Butler, yeah. So obviously
I think
we're
I think Tyler
biased.
Lewis might be the only Oak Hill grad to play Butler up until
Yeah,
you.
yeah. So hey, now we got two. There we go. I love it. But I don't know. I was gonna say Jack McCaffrey is also a huge LeBron fan, so you guys can connect on that because
Yeah.
I mean I think he claims to be the biggest. So we'll have to see who the biggest on the team is. But BSC, you got any more questions?
One more that I just had was just a fan question was, um, the decision to go to Oak Hill, obviously coming out of Houston to make that decision to go to boarding school. What was that like? And was that a positive process for you?
Yeah, it was coming off of EYBL play. We was at one of the sessions. We were at session 3 in Louisville actually, and after one of my games, Coach Dakins and Coach B Rock, they came up to me and was like, "Hey, Drayton, we'd love to have you visit the campus. We're Oak Hill. We want you to come around because we're very interested in you." And so once I visit campus, and man, once you go into the gym, you see like 20 national championship banners, and you see like 70 jerseys, NBA and college. And shoot, it's kind of hard to deny that. And with my process at Oak Hill, it was just a very good process because I went there for one reason, and that was to become the best basketball player I could be. And I'll say that going to Oak Hill and playing people who are in the NBA now and people are at high level D1s, it just it helped me understand the real world of basketball very quickly, and I'm very thankful for it. And as far as the boarding school piece, it didn't really matter how far away I was from home. Shoot, as long as I'm doing doing things, get to my ultimate goal. It don't matter if I'm in Virginia, South Carolina, Rush. I don't care where I am. As long as I'm doing things to get to my ultimate goal, I'm happy with it.
Awesome.
Actually, I forgot about the fan questions too because I had a couple more. One was when you get close to the rim, are you just looking to dunk? Because I think they watched your highlight tape, and there's a lot, and I'll even admit too, there was a lot where like it looked like there's no way that you were going to dunk the ball, and I was like, oh my gosh, you just dunked that. Like the very first clip on that one tape is like you doing a reverse like this way, and then there's like 5 more where it looks like any normal human would just like try and do a layup and you just slam it. Is that something that do you take that aggression out on the rim?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff happens from, past games or practices to where I lay it up and I either get blocked or I miss it. So, when you do that enough, coaches and players are just going to curse you out saying, dunk it. So eventually I just had to start dunking as many times as possible, whether I miss or make. I just started just trying to dunk everything. So
Yeah.
that's what it happens.
And then the other one I had, going back to actually Jack McCaffrey, basically now that you're going to go into your junior year, do you look forward to taking on a little more of like a leadership role now that you're kind of the upperclassmen and kind of teaching the younger guys about the game and everything like that?
Man, that's the first time someone actually, phrased it to me like that. So you got me feeling old, man. But yeah, I mean, I've never been one to necessarily lead with my voice, but I just try to lead with my effort. But yeah, now that I'm going to be an upperclassman, I'm going to have to try and, get out of my comfort zone. I'm usually a laid back person. I like to have friendships, but I'm not one to step on toes. But now that we're getting into, a different environment, we're getting into a different beast. I'm more than willing to take on that leadership role and do whatever I need to do to help the team. And if that means I have to be a very vocal leader and just help the guys with whatever they need, then I'll definitely do that.
Awesome, man. Well, awesome, man. Hey, BFC, got anything else?
No, I'm all good.
Nah, hey Diesel, we appreciate you sitting down with us, man. It's always fun getting to know some of the new guys and just again kind of airing that out to Butler and with how much movement there is in the college game these days. It's always fun to again get to know some of the new guys. So super looking forward to having you on the squad, man. I know Butler Nation. We've been itching for that center signing, and you were definitely, as you saw by all the memes, the one we wanted. So we're excited to have you on board, man. But I always like to end these things with a little "Go Dogs."
Go Dogs.